Hello and welcome to Wednesday's workout with Kathy Stevens, Wellness Wednesday. I hope that you guys are enjoying this month as we talk a little bit more about nutrition. Why? Because March is National Nutrition Month. So in honor of that, we're speaking a little bit to proper or balanced nutrition or eating habits, as well as, of course, balance on the 60 up board. Hopefully you guys will join in, and if you have any comments or questions, I'll try to check them in the chat box as we're going along. But if you remember from last week, I don't know how many of you guys were here, I spoke to you a little bit about my funky little plate, which is the mypyramid.gov food plate, where you can find out better how to look at things from a realistic way, taking a look at your meals and seeing the whole day as one plate, and then subdividing it between how much should be carbohydrates, fats, proteins. Okay, I'm using the macronutrients rather than right away going to what is a carbohydrate. That's what we're going to talk about a little bit today in our little bit more of a deep dive when it comes to balancing your nutrition. So I want to start, and I don't want to take too much time on this. I will post things on the website so that the members that maybe missed my opening little nutrition tips can catch it later. But if you remember, the biggest portion of your daily diet should be carbohydrates. Okay, so what's a carbohydrate, you ask? Most of us know this, but you know, pastas, grains, fruits, vegetables. Now, they're not all created equal. So what you want to think about is, I hate to say good and bad, but let's just say better, okay, and let's try to stay away from. And when it comes to carbohydrates, the best or the betters that you want to fill that 50 to 60% of your daily allowance in should be things like your fruits that are low in sugar, vegetables, and of course the more colorful the better, whole grains. So whether that's your pastas in a whole grain format or version, or your breads, all of those things are great. If you have issues with, you know, some people have specific diets where maybe they have to go gluten-free or they're more sensitive to the high starch foods, you can always look up the glycemic index, which is how fast or how close it comes to sugar and breaks down in your system fast like sugar, and stay away from those foods that are high on the glycemic index. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to eat a lot of carbs, but we want to really try to choose the ones that are more whole grain, more nutritious, less processed. The word processed is going to come up a lot in food choice. So when it's processed, it means they've kind of, let's take wheat for example. When you process it, you shave down the outer husk, which has a lot of the vitamins and the micronutrients that we need, the fiber, and it becomes maybe more white, like white bread. So it becomes a little bit more soft in your mouth, or some people like that taste, a little more smooth, but you've taken out a lot of what makes the whole grain so important for our body. So when it does come to carbs, I like to give people general ways to think about things that are easy to remember. So when it comes to carbohydrates, think about staying away from white. What do I mean? Sugar, white bread, white rice, and eat more whole grain and vegetable. And again, the darker the color when it comes to vegetables and fruits, the more the nutrients. So let's move on. I don't want to get stuck on carbs because we still have two other big categories that are important. One being fats. Fats, as I said last week, get a bad rap sometime because people think, oh, fat, that means I'm going to get fat. Well, not so. The nutrient, the macronutrient fat, is also laden with many vitamins, especially fat-soluble vitamins that are important for heart health. Those omega-3s and 6, I don't know if you've heard of those fatty acids, those oils that are found in foods like fish and nuts and certain soy and other types of oils, are very important for heart health as well as the immune system. So we can't underestimate or categorize all fats as bad for you, but we still can put it on that list of good, okay, and stay away. So good fats are going to be those fats that come from, like I say, fish oils, avocados, certain vegetables, certain types of oils like olive oil. Those are all what we call low chain, or in other words, they're not as saturated. There's more space on the chemical molecule, so they're easier for your body to process without problems. So we want to stick with the more unsaturated fats. In the middle come saturated fats, and those are ones that in nature, like on your animal fats, your steaks, your things like that, they're a little more dense, so not maybe as healthy as an unsaturated fat, but they're not horrible for you. We need to have protein, so some of that fat that comes along with the beef and the chicken and the fish, in particular the fish, is good for you. You just might want to trim it off a little bit, not get overly using the saturated fats. And then the one you really want to stay away from are the trans fats, or the hydrogenated. Those are the processed chemical fats. Basically, that was invented so that foods could last longer on a shelf. They found a way to add hydrogen to a fat molecule, and make it almost indestructible so it wouldn't spoil. But it's not healthy in your body. So think about things that are processed and stay away from those types of fats. And the word hydrogenated is a key tip-off in the ingredient list on foods of something that has some of that less wanted fat in your diet. And then last but not least is the proteins. We need to have protein because it is the nutrient that helps rebuild and reestablish cells that are damaged. It is so important for muscle growth and just all tissue growth. So we want to make sure that we get that right amount of protein. And we can look at those other tips to tell you what kind of protein is best, because it's very rare that protein, unless it's a powder, is going to be all by itself in a food. So if you're going to pick a protein source, you want to pick one that has a low fat content if you're watching your diet. So that's going to be your leaner cuts of beef, chicken, and fish. And also that maybe has other nutrients that come along with it, because like certain legumes or soy and some of these other products have other things that are very healthy in terms of nutrition. So finding healthy protein might mean picking on the lighter side. What do I mean by that? The lighter the meat, the less the fat. So it's almost the opposite of what I said about carbohydrates. So when you go with your chicken or your turkey, the darker the meat, the more the fat content. And again, if you're trying to watch your weight, then you want to kind of shave down a little bit on those maybe heavier or more densely laden fat type proteins. Not that they're all bad, just a little more moderation. And eggs and milk are all cheese and milk are also protein, but you got to watch the fat on it. See how you can get low fat, high fat of that type of food source. And eggs actually are an awesome protein and one of the fastest to be broken down and digested and utilized. So a great tip is to add some more eggs as long as you don't have any type of allergies or problems. And that's something you always want to speak with a nutritionist if you have specific things. I'm giving you very general recommendations, ones that you could find by simply going to the, again, the MyPlate, the USD.gov MyPlate website. These are all very common things that we just forget about once in a while. All right, so those are my tips for choosing a little healthier version of your carbohydrates, of your fats, of your proteins. And of course, what about hydration? Because that's also something we really need to make sure we have plenty of in our diet. Again, the more like water, the better. So if you're going to have fruit juices or the Gatorades or the anything, because maybe you're just a person that likes flavor, just water it down. You know, don't go for the straight stuff. And of course, stay away from the high sugar things like sodas and other types of, or highly caffeinated things. Not that you can't have them, just moderation again. All right, the key term for most nutrition tips or basic balanced nutrition tips is moderation. Now, let's move on. I would like to see if I can see who's in the room. So I'm going to come over here and check and see if I can see a chat box going. I hope I'm live. It says I'm live. I'm not seeing any chat. So if anybody's got a comment, please put it in the comment box. No, I'm not finding that, but hopefully you guys are seeing me. Hopefully you're hearing me. I've yet to wire how to figure out that. So, let's see. I just don't want to mess up my screen and lose you guys all together. But I'm not seeing comments right now. And I do indeed hope that you guys are there with me. I might have to go on my phone to see if there's any comments. That's what I did last week and it worked out well. So let me do that one more time today to see if we can make sure that everybody's in the room and having fun. All right, so I'm going over to 60 members. I see Dan's video. Up, not seeing myself. I hope you are. I'm going to keep shooting, and if for some reason this isn't coming out, it does say I'm live. Mona, thank you so much for telling me that I'm live. Yes, I will use my phone to check in because there might be other things that I need you to tell me. We're going to have a circuit today, and I need to let you know what it is we need for the circuit. So, of course, please bring some water. I'm wearing my green to remind you to eat some green leafy vegetables today, or avocado. I'm also going to have a set of weights. Now, I mentioned to you guys that if you don't have weights, because I know this isn't part of your package, but I just thought let's shake it up a little bit today and use some weights. If you don't have dumbbells, and I only want you to have, 3s, 2s, 5s, use a water bottle or a soup can, because that's still going to give you about ½ pound of resistance. And a lot of times it isn't so much about the resistance as it is about the form. And when you're holding something, it slows and controls your form a little bit. So we're just going to focus on that mind to muscleness during the circuit. Our circuit will be like last week. I'm using our balanced circuit format, which is about a minute of cardio, about a minute of strength, and then about a minute of balance or stability work. I think that's a nice balanced workout to do. Now I'm able to see that Mona's here. I hope somebody else is as well. Oh, there we are. Joanne, yay, so glad you're here. Craig, always good to see you in the room, and I've got some good exercises for you today. Ginny, wow, is this your first time with me? I'm Kathy Stevens. If so, great to have you in the house. And Pat, yay, and Molly. Ann and Deborah, good morning. Oh, Molly Ann, you're new to the workout. Well, I'm so glad you're joining me today. I teach a little different. I'm a rhythmic animal, so I put a little music on, and then I need you to let me know, because one week we were going along and it wasn't until after the entire workout that somebody said, hey, Kathy, your music's too loud. So I'm going to do a little music test right now. Then we're going to get right into it. We're going to warm up and be off and running. Here we go. And I'll talk to you about why I love music in my workouts in a second. All right. So there we go. Can anybody hear that music? Give me a thumbs up if it sounds right. If it's not too loud, I want to make sure that I don't overwhelm you. There's a little bit of an uptick on it. How are we feeling? Hey, Janet. All right. Well, I'm going to start marching in place to warm up. I'm going to keep my phone nearby so I can check in. I'm going to keep it right here on the chair. Sorry about all the walking around I'm doing. All right, let's warm up. Hands on the poles. Chest up. Chin up. I'm going to check in a few seconds to make sure that everybody's good. You can see me, you can hear me. I'd say you can feel me, but I don't think so. You can feel my heart rate going up when yours goes up, right? We're all going to perceive how we're feeling. Right now, we should be feeling about a 1 or 2 on that scale of self-perception. 10 would be all out. 1 is just warming up. March in place. Now, for those of you that have a little bit of problems lifting your feet, a little neuropathy, a little drop foot, don't worry about it. Just think higher than you think you need to. That's it. Think about walking up a step versus marching. Sometimes if your brain thinks about going a little higher than you need to, it's just about right for you. All right, now go out a bit and in a bit, just a little bit. So notice I'm just kind of It's not quite a wide or V step, but a little wider and then a little narrower. And as I go wider, you'll notice that my knees bend a bit. Here we go. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Now hold here and just rise up for 2 and down for 2. Now my heels are coming up and then my toes are coming up. So I'm really trying to get at those ankles, warming them up. Lift onto your toes, back into your heels. Now as I go back into my heels, my hips do stick back a little bit towards the back wall. That allows me to get those toes to feel free in my shoes and peel up off the floor just a little bit. Good. Up and back. Up. All right, now start marching with the other foot. Leading other leg. Right, left. I started with my left last time, so we'll start with our right this time. Chin up and chest up, posture check. Head high, chest lifted, abs tight. Again, lift a little higher than you think you need to. If you're feeling like you don't have great control of those foot patterns. Now we're going to go out and in a little bit. Out, out, in, in. Bend those knees just a bit more as you're stepping out. Keep the chest up. Remember, this is the warm-up. We just want to get our body ready and acclimated for the circuit. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now take it out and leave it out. And rock it side to side on the floor. Just bend and sway. Hold on and wiggle your fingers once in a while so we don't over grip those handles. Excellent. Preparing the knees and the hips. All right, now we're gonna hold it to the left. Hold. Now see that other leg? Let's just pull it up and press it down as you're hanging into the stretch. Hold it. Make sure this knee is in the direction of the toe. All right, other side, same thing. Hold it, and then if you can, flip that foot up on the diagonal. Good. Don't put too much weight on those poles. Once in a while, a little hand free to make sure that you're not overly resting into the front of that board and those handles. All right, back to the center. Now, toes in and heels in. Stand tall. From here, we're going to take one arm. We'll start with the left. Reach up. Bring it down. Again. Reach up. I just want you to feel that stretch through your spine and your shoulder girdle. Reach up. And let it come down. One more time, then we'll do the other side. Reach up. Let it come down. All right. Holding on with the other side. Reach up. Make sure you don't hit your pole. Let it come down. Just feel the thumb go back and the arm float forward. Up. Stretching through the chest, stretching through the shoulder, opening up, lifting. Good. 2 more times. Last one. All right, now place them down, head to shoulder. Half circle roll. We kind of went from foot to head today. Other side. Warming up those joints of the body. Tuck and roll. Again. 2 more. Last one. All right, now just shrug those shoulders around and shake it off. Okay, we're ready to start our circuit. I'm just going to check in, make sure that nobody's saying that the music is too loud. We see you and hear you. Thank you so much for telling me that, Jenny. Okay. All right, now, remember, our circuit is going to involve timed bouts of cardio, followed by timed bouts of strength, using the weights in some of them, and then timed bouts of some balance work. So from here, let's just start with a nice heel drop, up and down. So what I'm doing is I'm tightening and pulling up my pelvic floor as I let my heels gently bounce on the ground. Here we go. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Tighten up your core. Lift your head. Good. Hands on poles. those calves are gonna get a little tired. This is really low body oriented right now. We're trying to stimulate those bones, those joints, and get that heart rate pumping. Good, you're halfway there. Now we're gonna go down, up, down, up. And for those of you that are comfortable with a little bit of a jump, I bend and it's kind of like I wanted to jump over a small puddle on the floor. This is up to you though. You can keep doing heel drops if this is too aggressive. We got 10 seconds. That's it. 2 more. Last one. All right, now for strength, I'm gonna step up, catch your breath, and I'm gonna show you. You can stay on the floor. This is what I want. I want a little bit of ankle work. So we're just gonna try to tap the toes, out and in, out and in. Hopefully you can see my feet. Out and in. Picking up those toes, pushing them out, pull them in, tap the ground. That's it. This is a really good strengthener for those shin muscles. You might have to sit back just slightly into your hips, again, to allow those toes to come up and down. Tap hard. I want you to hear your feet against the floor. That's it. Breathe. Keep going. Those toes are lifting, going in, going out, going in, going out. Kind of like windshield wipers. All right, and shake it out. Now, that was a minute, so now we're gonna come up and we're gonna hold on our toes and try to stabilize. Halfway on your toes for the minute. See if you can let go with one or both hands. I know that might be a little much for some of you. So stay at that level you're comfortable with. It could be a fingertip hold. Come on, you're almost there. Stay up on those toes, stabilize, lift your chin, lift your chest. Okay, now for the next 30 seconds, drop the heels, lift the toes, and try to hold those toes up in balance point. Hold it. I'm gonna show you what mine looks like real quick. Just move my board away. Toes up, balance, balance. That's harder, isn't it? Hold on, you can do this. See if you can just be fingertips only on that pole. Good. Deep breath. 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop them. Very good. All right, now back to our cardio. We're gonna do a movement that I call a squat out. So you squat out and you push right back in. And you squat out and you push right back in. So land and bend. Catch your weight and center. Now for those of you that don't feel like you need to hold the poles during some of these moves on floor, feel free to go free arm it. Open and close, open and close. Good. Now if you want a little bit more cardio action here, you can add a drag of that foot, and that's going to engage a little bit more muscle, or a jump in. Those would both be ways to accelerate this if you're trying to. But if you're happy with just getting that heart rate up to about a 5 or 6, that's what it feels like, then just stick with that. Step out and push back. 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, last one. Breathe it off. Now take a second, walk and shake it out, and let's grab one of your weights or your water bottle. You can't see my feet. Thank you for saying that. Okay, I'm gonna back up a little bit so you can see my feet. Hopefully that will help. All right, good thing I have my phone nearby. All right, now from here, I want you to hold on with the right hand. Hold the weight in the left hand. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift and drop just one side. So strengthening those lateral muscles of the shoulder and hip. Try to stay balanced. If you don't need to hold the pole, you could do the other arm with no weight and just try to challenge the balance even more. But I really do think it's a good idea to stay stable by keeping the hand on that pole. Awesome. We're gonna do 4 more. We're gonna do 3, 2, 1. Now hold here. Put the weight at your chest, tilt your body in the direction of the pole you're holding, and stabilize. So I want you to see a straight line. So from my foot to my head, and if I wanted to advance this, I could lift the arm or hold the pole and just engage all those core muscles. Hang on, you've got this. Stay on the tilt. Try to keep a nice straight line. And if there's a way for you to have a mirror in front of you or to be able to somehow see yourself, it's even more effective because the brain can then make those little adjustments that you might not have an awareness for. So it's nice if you have a mirror to be watching yourself in while you do this. 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Okay, shake this out. Put that weight down. Please remember which arm you were working. I was working my left. We're going to repeat that. So we're going to squat out to the right and back in because we have to get that other side done. So a minute of squat outs. Good. Catch your weight and push back. Remember, for you that want to work a little bit harder, you can add a little bit of a jump as you come in or a drag. And for those of you that feel like, ooh, this is enough, you can slow this down or just not step out so far. Range of motion is always the first way to modify an exercise. All right? Ooh, get that heart rate up. Let's keep those muscles pumping. Again, if you don't need the arms on board, you can add any kind of upper body movement that you like. Using the arms is always going to utilize more muscle. Good, let's do a few more. Excellent. Last 2. Last 1. Shake it off. Grab your weight again. All right, now from the weight, we're going to go on the other side now. Remember, I was using left first, so now I'm going to do right leg, right arm. And I'm going to try to balance. You're going to feel a lot of this in that standing leg as well. And you only have to lift the arm as high as that shoulder is comfortable. On this side, I have a little limitation. I've had some shoulder issues before and surgery on this side. So this arm does not comfortably lift up as high as the other. And I always want to stop before I feel the need to change my form, call that a cheat, or any kind of pain at the joint. Good job, guys. Keep it going. Working that hip and that shoulder. Maybe 2 more. Last 1. And then remember what we did? We just balanced. So we held that lean. And if that's too hard, put the toe on the floor, but try to get that long angle through your body. And if you want to advance it, you can bring this arm out to the side rather than holding on. Again, these are to challenge balance and core structure. Your abdominals, your hips, your shoulder, your leg. Whew, I'm feeling it in mine. And at any time it becomes too much, come back at a lighter or lesser range of motion, or just shake it out and say good job. 4 more. 3, 2, last 1, and bring it in. Good job. Okay, 1 more floor move, and then we're going to move on. But let's get a little water. Why don't we get some water? Because we've been going for a while. So walk on over and get yourself a little bit of water. Make sure that you can see my board. A little tilt on the screen. Only problem is sometimes then you lose my head. I always say 3 gulps. 3 to 5 gulps is usually a good amount, okay? All right. So checking in with you, making sure everybody's happy and watching. I hope you're doing more than watching. All right, we're gonna grab our next cardio move. I got a little off course there. It's gonna be a minute of hamstring curls, hands on poles. Now, if you want to make this a little bit more aggressive, you can skip it. Now some of you think, oh my gosh, I can't skip, I can't jump. But believe it or not, sometimes we can't skip or jump because we just don't try to skip or jump. And it doesn't have to be high, it could just be a little up with the heel, right? It doesn't have to be every one, maybe every other one. Try it, that's called power. And power is an important capacity of the muscle to be able to react and to control your body, or be able to push your body in a direction you want it to go when it's going in a direction you don't want it to go, like a fall. So practicing that little fast twitch pop, let's call it, instead of a jump, is not a bad idea. But note that it will get your heart rate up, so you don't want to get it up so high that you're breathless. Just a little winded. I'll take 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, 1 more, and walk it out again. Now grabbing one weight. Once again, we're going to, this time we're going to take our left foot and we're going to put it over by the right pole on the floor, or if you want, on the board. I like that. Use the board for a second here. Get stable, lean in, and give me a nice clean bent over row. What does that mean? The more my back comes forward, the more I'm going to get resistance to those large back muscles like the latissimus dorsi. But I have to make sure that I'm keeping that spine in good alignment. And if that becomes too difficult, then unhinge a bit at the hip with a little lesser angle. Ideally a little more forward, as long as you can control and keep that back in good alignment. Long line like a drafting table. Here we go. 4 more. 3, 2, last one. Okay, stand up. Remember which hand is holding your weight. It's my right arm. Then put that weight down, and we're going to repeat the hamstring hop or the hamstring curl. All right, wait a second, I forgot. Oh my gosh, Kathy, you're not with it today. Come back to this. We're going to stabilize. So I just want you to stabilize in a forward reach. My bad. Now once again, your goal is a diagonal line from hand through body to toe. If that's too much, put the hand on the opposite shoulder and just focus on the lean with the leg to the head. The arm is always going to add a lot more challenge to the core. And if that amount of challenge starts a bad posture habit, then I prefer you back off to the easier version. 4 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and done. Now we can come back and do our second set of hamstring hops or hamstring curls, your choice. Remember, the hop is just a little pop or jump if you can handle it, or stay grounded and just kick butt. Here we go. Nice. Remember, your goal is to get your heart rate up a little here for the minute, for the circuit. Good job. Inhale and exhale. Keep a nice fluid breathing. You can slow this down. Work on beat. Or you can go faster or slower, or sit down anytime you need to. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk it off. Grab your weight. Cross your right foot in front. Put it on the board if you like. Lean in and use that left arm now in the rowing action. Once again, remember, more parallel, a little more resistance, but diagonal line is fine. Pull that elbow up. Reach and row. Keep in mind that your head and neck need to stay in line with the rest of that torso. That's how we get an awesome core effect as well. The core body muscles are working, those trunk muscles, to keep that posture in great alignment. Good. Inhale and exhale. You got this. Pull those arm muscles back. Feel those back muscles contracting. 4 more. 4. Remember, this could be a water bottle, or it could just be the weight of your arm. All right, put that weight down. If you have to walk over to put it down on something, that's okay. Come back and let's go into that lean with or without the arm. Remember, if that's too hard, just cross the hand over the shoulder, but hold that long line, kind of like a scale. Try not to lift the leg so high that you get too much arching in the low back. It could be down on the floor even if you need it to be with just the upper body. See how this would be a very easy modification? A little harder, hardest, right? Keep that core engaged, everything nice and tight. You've got this. In 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Woo, shake it off, good job. Kick it off a little bit. All right. We're ready to get on board. Are you ready? Are you on board? Here we go. So let's bottom out, 2-2, and then let's just start our cardio minute going as a little rock. So rock side to side, start to get your feet comfortable. If you want to go to the beat. 1, 2, 1, 2. Like a little metronome. You know, there have been studies done that show working with music helps the brain. It's a different center of the brain. So sometimes if you have certain neurological deficiencies, adding music can actually clean up not only your mood, but your movement. Rock and roll, here we go. Soften those knees. Press through the edge of your foot. Press through the ball of your foot. Feel the toes gripping. Feel the arms pushing a little as well. Engaging more of those chest and shoulder muscles. Nice. You've got this. 2 and 1. All right, now settle to the center. Catch your breath. We're going to do chair squats for a minute. Try to keep balanced. Well, when I say chair squat, I want you to imagine that you're getting into and out of your chair. So you have to get your hips back, right? Your chair isn't right between your legs. It's behind you a little bit. And you want to keep your chest up, your head up, and your core engaged, and slide those hands down the pole if you're comfortable going a little lower. This is an awesome exercise because it works so many muscles, both in the lower body and the core. But it also is so functional because this is one of those movements in life that we do not want to lose, right? Whew. 2 more of these, and then comes our stabilizing minute. Now in the stabilizing, I want you to go down into the chair, and then I want you to take one arm and reach it forward and just stay there. Try to keep that long line in your spine, and again, if this is too hard, cross the hand here. But feel this in your core. Sit back into those hips. Make sure you can wiggle your toes. Try to balance. I know it's not easy. Take a breath. Now bring that arm down and switch to the other side. Again, if this is bothering you at the shoulder, cross here. If it's bothering you at the core, then come out of it. You don't have to stay the whole time. Get what you can out of an exercise and know that your goal is fatigue, not to be here forever without feeling it. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1, and then let's come back up to standing. Awesome. Okay, bring those feet together so that they surround that middle red line. The next cardio minute is going to be lunges back. So you're going to lunge back to the floor and push back on. Catch with your toe and push back up. Catch with your ball of your foot. Catch with your toes. Look down every once in a while as we go through a minute of these. Bend both knees. Now your board will naturally rock towards the side of the up leg. So catch yourself and push back. And the deeper and the more aggressively you push back, the higher that heart rate will go. Keeping everything tight in the middle, bending both knees. Whew, I'm feeling this one. Here we go. We're gonna need some water after this. Down and up, down and up. Wiggle fingers every once in a while so you don't over grip. Try to balance that board as much as possible, even though it will lean to one side. Good. Let's do 2 more. Last one. And now take and put your left foot on the floor and keep your right knee up. Stationary lunges, okay? So we're gonna lunge and push, and as you lunge, I want you to stay on the one side, and I do want you to take your hands and push down. It's not gonna go anywhere. It's gonna be isometric. Push your palms into the poles. Push your palms into the poles. And push. Nice. Sit down and push. Push. Or open your fingers and grip if you want to think more about hand grip on this instead of down push. You've got this. Woo! Nice. Really good for those quadricep muscles, those hip and thigh muscles, those hand muscles. Pulling down and shrugging your shoulders away from your ears. One more, and then we balance right here. So move your foot to the center if you can. Try to balance. One leg balance. Whew. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. Now if you got a little too breathless there and holding the balance is just not going to happen for you, then just do little tiny knee bends like this. That helps slow that blood flow down a bit for you so you can recover the heart rate a little more efficiently. And you can do it on one leg if you want. Keeping that pump going helps if the heart rate was a little higher than expected. Hold. And once you feel like you've got control of your breath again, and just try to balance on that one leg. Strong through the hip, strong through the ankle, strong through the core. As you know, you can always challenge it more. That's hard. You could really see my ankle working, couldn't you? All right. Let's go ahead now and put our feet back on. Remember which leg was up, the right leg, because we're going to start over again. So let's do those down lunges. Down lunge. Nice. Inhale and exhale. Whew. I promise water break after this set. I want to get us through it so that we can remember, because it's very easy once we get going to forget which leg you did the unilateral work on. What is unilateral? Unilateral means one leg only doing the same move over and over. This is alternating, so it's bilateral. Here we go. Chin and chest up. Get the cardio going. Bend that knee, launch back, push up. Down and up. Down and up. Whew. Take your time. You can slow this down. You don't have to stay on tempo with me. Good job. All right. Last and stay. All right, now remember last time your right leg was up, so now your left leg is up. Put it in the middle. Start that unilateral or single leg lunge in place with either a grip on you come down and stretch with the fingers as you come up, or a push down and relax. Push down and relax. Nice. Keep going. Chin and chest high. You've got this. Breathe. Inhale, exhale. Excellent. Down and up. Down and up. Don't be in a hurry. 2 more. Last one. And now come up and balance. Again, remember, if your heart rate is up too much, put the feet down and just do small knee bends or one leg knee bend. But try if you can, once you're back in control of your rate of breathing, to stabilize and hold it. If you want to try to let go, you can. Maybe try one hand at a time. It's interesting how we don't realize how hard we're working until we let go of those handles. You know, I get a lot of questions from you guys, which I love. You know, anytime you address the 60 Up members page, usually Dan or Debbie or I try to field that question as efficiently as we can. And a lot of the questions I noticed are about these poles versus the metal poles. And these are great for just normal usage and ability. I like the fact they flex a little. They're not going to break. They're nice, strong PVC piping, but they allow me to push and pull and get a little more upper body work. Now let's go ahead and come down and get some water. Now on the other hand, if you happen to be a person that either is a little heavier weight, and you feel like, ooh, those poles, I feel like I'm just have too much brute strength here. If you're a little bit heavier and you want a stronger, let's say a guy that's 220 pounds, like my husband, he might want the metal poles because of just his overall strength and weight. Or if you have really a lot of balance issues and you don't want anything shaking in the upper body, the metal poles will hold you more stable. So notice what I said, that if the poles shake a little bit, it's actually advancing the exercise, so it's not a bad thing. So don't think that these poles are the lesser poles. They're just a little different in terms of the goal. More stability if you need it because of size or imbalance, then metal poles is something you might want to order. These are great for the average. I love them. I hope that kind of cleared it up. It's not always a all or nothing, yes or no. Okay, we're not done yet, but we're almost done. So in this next series, what I want us to do is start off on the end. I want us to walk, but I need you to take it careful the first few times around, okay? So I'm just gonna step up, I'm gonna walk, I'm gonna step down, and then I'm gonna come around. I'm just gonna do this for a minute, and I want you to get comfortable with this. So think of walking one foot in front of the other, not quite a tightrope. Notice that that board is gonna definitely play around and lean underneath you, and take this at your own pace, but use your handles. Get yourself to come around with a little bit of a quick step. So we're going from right to left, 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, and off and around. And again, we're just gonna do this for a minute. So I want you to take it at leisure. It's gonna be low-end cardio because there's a lot of sensing that has to go on to make sure that your posture stays tall. I want you to notice the little shuffle step I do when I get off the board. I do a ba. Why? Because we're kind of coming downhill when we're coming off the board, and we're kind of simulating maybe losing your balance forward, and a quick little step pushes your body back and helps you regain or right yourself. All right, here we go. Last one. And then this time we're gonna come around and we're gonna grab our weight. We're gonna come on the side that we started, the right side, and we're gonna be right here on the edge of it. We're gonna hold the weight against the outer thigh, the thigh behind you or away from me. We're gonna hinge forward, lift the elbow, kick it back, bring it in, and unhinge. So we're gonna do a straight leg bend at the hip, an extension through the elbow, and then unhinge. So this is a deadlift with a kickback for the tricep and the hips and buttocks. Good. Notice how I'm keeping my spine very stiff as I come forward, and as I extend that elbow, I do not let my back start to round or hunch. It's flat, flat, flat. Good. Again, forward, out, down, and in. Forward, out, down, and in. One more. Forward, out, down, and in. Now hold here. Bring this arm up at your side. If you've got the weight or the water bottle, great, you don't have to. We're just gonna hold here, and then we're gonna lift the opposite knee, and we're gonna do a moving balance. So we're gonna tap down and cross in. We're just gonna add a little rotation. So that weight kind of stays at your shoulder, and if that's too difficult, put the weight down and just do this one leg rotation move, trying to stay really tall, minimize the range of motion. You don't have to lift high or twist too far if it's throwing you. This is really a dynamic balance exercise, and because of the crossing of the limbs, over your midline. It's really quite stimulating for the brain. Kind of like a cross crawl. Notice I'm not letting my posture slouch or round down. One more. And down. Excellent. Bring it down. Go ahead and put that weight away for a second. And now we're going to, remember we went this way. So now we're going to change it up and we're going to walk across in the opposite direction. So once again, step on, transition by holding, pull, quick little step to turn around and walk around. Again, about a minute of this, so step, I like to step with the closer foot and then switch arms. I want you to feel comfortable with this, so I don't want to work on the beat, and that's why the music isn't going right now. I want you to feel like you have control and you can easily walk that plank. I like to call that the walk the plank at your own pace. So that you get in control in that transition of arm, front arm, walk, walk, walk. Excellent. Now those of you that are, we'll call you 60 up experts, you're welcome by all means to jog it out or shuffle it around as you get to the back. That will accelerate the cardio factor, right? But I want everyone to feel that the pace they're going at is right for them, okay? Because this is not easy. It involves a lot of obstacle walking as well as not always having a hand on the pole, although you could do that if you needed to. So please be safe, safety first. Last time, little quick steps. And then we're gonna grab our weight again, or not, if you don't have one. We're gonna step up on the end, cock that elbow back, hinge, extend, and then come back up. Hinge. And I hope that you can see how my hips are folding, but my knees are not changing the amount of bend they have in them, and my spine is not rounding even when I kick that elbow out. So I hinge, my arm goes out, my arm comes in, and I unhinge. My head, neck, and shoulders stay on that nice same line. I know that that arm is not real clear, so I'm going to turn a little bit so you can see maybe better. Okay? So I hinge, I extend, I bring it in, I unhinge. I hinge, I extend, I bring it in, I unhinge. I hinge, I extend. I don't mean to turn my backside to you, but I just wanted to make sure that you could see what was happening. Last one. And then again on this one, remember we bring the arm up to the side and then we cross to the center and back down. We cross to the center and back down. We cross. And notice as I cross, I'm not letting my head jet forward. I'm keeping my head postured right over my shoulders. I'm not rounding or letting my back slouch. Nice and slow. Range of motion is up to you. So if you feel like that's too much, then just don't go so far. You don't even have to lift that foot off if you don't want to. You know, we're all at such different levels in this class. I read those comments and it really tells me more and more that we do have several levels of users to the members page that are looking for different intensities. So I think as we go forward, we are going to try to start labeling them more so you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. But I do want you to know that no matter what level the class says, and let's do one more. A teacher's job is also to be able to engage all of you. And so I always will try very hard, let's get some water. I will always try very hard to be giving modifications for harder moves, or what I mean by harder moves, ways to make the move harder, as well as modifications or inviting you to sit down or slow down or not do every single rep, because that is so important that you can take any workout, and I don't still see my head in the camera, so I'm going to tilt it again, so that you can take any workout and make it your own and make it work. Okay, final big gulp, and then we get to stretch. And I know I love the final stretch. I never want to cheat that final stretch, and I hope you feel the same because it is such an important part of exercise. All right. Whew. I'm going to stay standing today for our stretch, so I just want you to start with just a shoulder roll. Inhale and exhale. Hands are up on those poles, shoulders are just gently coming up, back, and down. Getting rid of tension in the back and the neck. Now let your shoulders stay down. Take the left arm, reach up and sway over the body and back. Just this one. Just let it go. I want you to imagine that you're kind of painting the ceiling. If you feel like your feet are too close, step them apart. If you're tired, you've had enough, sit down and do this. No problem doing that. You can always do what I'm doing from a seated posture. Nice. Again, up and over, down the body, down the side. Last one. And let's switch arms. Up and over, start small. I always tell people, the first view of a dynamic stretch, and a dynamic stretch is just a moving stretch, should be small, testing the waters of what feels good to the muscles, what helps them release tension and stretch or elongate without being so far that you feel pain or strain in getting there or back. A couple more. Lead with the arm, but then lean with the rest of the body. Good. Last time. And then bring it to the center. Now feet a little wider, maybe 2 and 2 on the board. And then let's fold down and roll through your spine on the way up. So as you're folding down, keep the back flat. I do this oftentimes in the warm-up. And then as you're coming up, try to do so one vertebrae at a time, tilting the pelvis under, then rolling all the way through with the head, neck, and shoulders, the last to come up. Inhale on the way down. Exhale on the way up. Again, inhale on the way down. Now, before you leave, forgot to remind you, Thursday's a really special day for us because Dan and I will both be on Sway TV, which is on the Amazon Live channel. I don't know if you knew that, but Amazon has a live stream channel, and Sway TV is one of the programming partners there. So we're going to be on Thursday at about 11 to 12:30, sometime in that range. We won't start till about 11:10. And if you come on that day and press the follow button, you'll be entered in a contest to win a free 60-up board, which many of you have yours already. Hold here. Now let's just bend the knees softly and extend. Many of you have yours, but maybe a second one would mean that your partner can also do the workout with you, or you can give it to someone you love. So it's a $250 value, as you know, and we're going to be giving one away on Thursday. So I hope you'll show up. I'm going to post the link. It's swaytvlive.com. You just got to show up at 11 o'clock-ish. I think we go on at 11:10, or I do, and then he'll come on later. And you just show up and press follow. Now, if you can't make it this Thursday, there's also a way to enter without having to be there, and I'll send those directions and I'll post them on our website as well. Because maybe you'll be doing dance workout at 9 and you have things to do, you can't hang all the way all day. And you don't have to stay the whole session either. You can just pop in and then follow and pop out. I'd love to see one of our members win, or better yet, one of your friends that wants a board. Tell them about it, okay? All right, now let's stop the knee bend and walk the feet together. And then we're just gonna bring one leg up and put the foot on the board and just kind of circle the ankle, releasing and relaxing that ankle. Good job, everybody. I hope you had a great workout today. I know I did. I was wearing my Army greens to remind you during National Nutrition Month to eat more greens. All right, go ahead and put that down. Other foot up. And you know, Sometimes people say, oh, but I don't like green vegetables, broccoli and spinach. There are a lot of those dehydrated powders you can put into a green drink in the morning if that's your problem. Of course, eating the whole food is always best because you get a lot more fiber when you do that way, and we know that helps keep everything moving better through our system. But in general, eat green this month, okay? All right, let's go ahead and put that foot down. Let's take the hands. Now, if you're balance challenged, please sit down during this or put one hand on the pole. We just want to release those wrists and fingers. You know, they get tired from holding those poles. Fan them out. Also wakes up those muscles. I was watching Dan on Tuesday, and I love this technique Tuesday, by the way. It just always reinforces some of the simple, very useful ways to use the board or other exercises. He did a little finger walking, which was great. So I'm gonna steal from him and just say, play the piano, use those fingers, play the piano, and then bring it back to the center. Interlace and stretch forward. Open up those fingers, thumbs, pinkies. Bring it up overhead if you can. Sit down if you need to. Inhale, exhale, bring the arms behind you. Interlace the fingers and pull back. Opening the chest and shoulders, so arms are back, kind of tightening the buttocks, but lifting that head and chin and keeping it really level with the floor. Nice. Let those arms come down. Shake it all out. Get rid of any tension. Shake it out, come on. Let it go to the floor. Leave it down there, that's tension. Tension, shake off. And then before I let you go, because I wouldn't want to just leave you like a shaking dog, let's inhale up. Gather the energy. Pull it into your body and brain and your heart and your digestive tract. And let go of any waste products and give yourself a big hand. Good job. I loved it. I hope you guys all did too. Pat is watching. I'm so glad that you're here. Pat, you're like one of our mainstays, and it's always so nice to see your name in the box and know that you're here with us. Craig, whoa, you got your heart rate. You know, it's same thing, Craig. I found that the lunges were harder to do in the stationary than even the alternating for me. And some of that, you know, is just because lunges in general use so much muscle mass in the lower body and core that it does indeed start to make the heart rate elevate, because what is cardio? Using a lot of muscles without stopping. So good call there. Hopefully you were able to control it and slow it down if it got too high. Tom, welcome, and Joe and Janet. It's so good to see all of you watching. I hate to be looking down versus looking at you, but I love to be able to read these comments before I go and recognize that you're here. And having that definite time every day that you work out is so important, and staying consistent. And that's why the team, 60 Up team, Dan and Debbie and myself, we really are passionate about giving you something that you can do every day, Monday through Friday, live, so that we can field your questions, but also knowing that it's up on YouTube, so that if you miss it, like many people will tell me, Mona often does, and Pat as well, that, you know, hey, can't catch it now, but I'll catch it later. We have had a little bit of a blip on some of the postings of YouTube, but you can always find them on this page too. If you just scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. I try to wear a little different color every time so that you can remember, oh, I did that one. That was Green Day, right? So in any case, we hope you enjoy this, because a piece of equipment is only worth your usage of it. And so when it comes to price, if you use this every day, Monday through Friday, even if it's not with us, even if it's just getting on and doing a few of the techniques that Dan talks about, I can guarantee you that you are going to get hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars of wellness out of it, because there's nothing healthier for you than staying active and fit and eating right. And we know that exercise is medicine. So hopefully you're finding this as a key tool in your toolbox to staying healthy, and you're recommending it to friends. Thank you for being here today. I'm glad you thought it was a great lower body workout, Doug. Awesome, awesome. And please join Dan and I on Thursday if you're free at about 11:11 or 11:10, 11 on the 11th. We are going to talk about 60 up. I'm going to interview Dan and find out some of his secrets that you may not know. He is an amazing person, and his bio and history is just very entertaining, as is Dan. So I get to kind of pull that out of him. Would love to see you guys chatting and teasing him in the box a little bit. And again, at the end of the show, we will tally anybody that's followed or joined, and we will be giving away a 60 up system that day. So it's exciting. I'm hoping somebody wins it that really has expressed a problem trying to put aside the money for something right now during these times. So that's why I thought it was so important to try to give back a little bit. So tell your friends. All you have to do is go to www.sway, SWAY, TVlive.com on the 11th at about 11. How's that? Easy to remember? Hopefully as easy as my nutrition tips. Thanks again, guys. Signing off. Thanks for joining me, Kathy Stevens, in my house. Talk to you guys later. Next week, we'll be back.